Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are in our strong hips, back, and core, and we've had a special request to really work on the hips today with some arthritis, pain, and lower back issues. So that's what we're going to do. If you have a foam roller, please go grab that. And if you have a bolster, grab that, blocks, blanket, and we should be ready to go. So, good morning. Turn off your phones, turn them off and over. And let's make sure we got that. And let's get started. Yeah, so Sugar's probably going to help us today because she wants to go play in the snow and build the snowmans. I gotta sit down. And we'll just ignore her and hope that she settles. So come on into a position that's comfortable. And if your hips are really bugging you and sitting on the floor is no fun, then we'll go ahead and sit in Vajrasana or Virasana, where you're sitting on those blocks. And that's going to steady it up a little bit too. So finding a position where you can be comfortable, really comfortable. And as I was just saying, Sugar and I just went for a walk, and it's really wet outside. It's really heavy, damp with all that snow. It's cold. And my boots were getting soaked. Her feet were getting soaked. And I was just thinking, wow, this is kapha. This is the season of winter. This is how we feel on the inside when our arthritis is acting up, when our mucus and we start getting into our congestion. This is the kapha season. So much different than that hot sunshine, right? So much different than those cold and breezy, dry fall days. Just this moist, wet, damp, soaking sort of energy. So on this first round, and maybe when you're watching this, it's not like that, but you can imagine it is. On this first round of centering, I'd like you to think about the season outside where you are and how that links up with maybe what's happening internally. Do you feel like you have some kapha inside? You have some congestion, some damp, some heavy, some cloudy inside of you as well. So just check in 1 minute, looking for the moist and heavy and damp. Right? The idea of what is out is in, what is in is out. So, what is the opposite of that winter season? That hot, blazing, warm, right? Feeling that sense of the opposite of the winter season, the opposite of being congested or heavy or wet or damp. I'd like us now to turn in that inner gaze into the Agni, into that fire within you, that fire right at the pit here of our belly. So turning that inner gaze inward and downward between the area of the navel and the pubic bone. See your fire. See that little candle flame flickering inside you. And for about a minute, 8 to 12 breaths, let's see if we can really sweep out any ash or anything that's blocking our internal fire. Big inhales, feel it spreading out, warming you, glowing all the way through your skin. And then exhale, blowing away anything that's holding you back from that big, bright light inside of you. 1 minute here, focusing on that internal flame. All right. And on this final minute, we've been talking about this really for months at this point, and it's easy to do it when we feel amazing, and it's much more challenging to do it when we are in physical or emotional pain. Eckhart Tolle calls it the pain body. So we have this part of all of us where it is a pain body. We are in pain, whether it's a migraine, whether it's grief, whether it's anger, whether it's anxiety and worry. Um, and sometimes we feed it, right? We watch more and more news, or we worry more and more about someone getting hurt, or we feed it with this negative thinking. Negative is a word I'm just kind of picking out, but it doesn't have to be negative, but just sort of feeding the pain body. So what I want you to do on this third and final round of our centering is find a place that is beyond your pain. So Judith Lassiter always says the worst thing about uh, your back going out is always this fear of re-injury. So once we have a back injury, we're always afraid we're going to recreate that back injury. So we live very carefully and very tentatively. Same thing with the pain body. We're always worried we're going to be in pain, which causes us more and more tension. So even though I know some of you are in pain today, emotional, physical, mental, whatever it is, I want you for 1 minute to be able to me, it's like a record. A record is going around on the turntable. Just lift yourself up a tiny bit. You can still see the pain, the throbbing, the aching, the chatter of whatever's happening, but you're not getting caught in the currents. You're not getting caught in the currents. So that's one idea, is lifting yourself up and just watching the pain without getting caught by it. Or sometimes I also find it really helpful is to link up with other people who are suffering the same sort of pain you are. Everybody who has arthritis in their hips today, everybody who lost someone that they love, everyone who's worried about their teenagers, whatever it is, I want you to take that first couple of breaths and remember you're not alone in this pain, and ask this community of people who you do not know, who are all over the world, ask them to hold your pain for just one breath. Just inhale, hold my pain for me for a moment, and then exhale, see if you can feel the release of your pain. So that's a Buddhist meditation. I think it's called Tonglen, and it's just a lovely way to remember that you're not alone. So either one of those for these last centering. Number one, lift yourself up out of the pain body and just watch the pain without getting caught by it. That's going to allow our bodies to relax a little bit. If that doesn't work for you, then go to this idea that you're not alone. Every single thing that you're experiencing, every single moment of every single day, someone in this world, in this galaxy, is suffering the same way you are. You're not alone, and see if they will hold it for you to have that one exhale of relief. And then sometimes maybe you'll ask in your meditations if you can hold it for someone else and let them have that release. So whichever one of those works, I'm going to give us 2 minutes on this one because it's a little bit longer. And so we're trying to get out of that pain body, leaning back beyond the chatter, beyond that physical pain. See how this goes for you. Okay. All right. 2 minutes. And for these last couple of moments here, settle in on your mantra. What is a phrase that will help you stay anchored into what it is you're needing for today? Do you need relief and release? Do you need compassion and nurturing? Do you need acceptance and freedom? How can you be served from this practice today? Gently bring your hands into prayer, thumbs against the heart. Let's bring our palms together here for a moment. Bow the chin to the chest, and I would like you to feel the hands are touching each other. Can you feel that warmth between them? Bring your mind's attention to the pinkies touching, the rings touching, the middle fingers touching, the pointer fingers touching, the thumbs touching. Feel the bottom, the heels of the hands touching, but a little tiny pocket of air between the palms. Can you feel the heat? Now push those pads of fingers together, but actively, dynamically spread those elbows apart. Can you feel the opposite? Not only are you pushing the hands together, but you're actively pulling the elbows apart. This is a prayer here. We're lining up that left and the right side, the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine. Bringing ourselves right into the center here. Now start to bring your hands a little bit apart, about an inch apart. Sometimes it's nice to close our eyes. It's fine if you want to keep them open. Can you still feel the heat between your hands? If no, go ahead and bring them back together so you can reestablish that sense. But if yes, maybe you can pull them a little bit further apart. To me, it feels almost like I'm trying to pull out some taffy, or like I'm a world-renowned accordion player. I can pull apart and squeeze it in. Can you feel that energy? Maybe yes, maybe no. If you can feel this sense of warmth between your hands, almost like there's a magnet with those hands, maybe you'll play and one will go up and one will go down. See if you can keep remembering and feeling this sense that there's warmth and magnetic pull between the hands. If you do not feel that, then keep the hands together and just keep pulling those palms apart, but bringing those fingers together. We're going to do this for about 8 more breaths. When our child gets hurt, the first thing we do is we put our healing hands on their hurt knee. If our head hurts, the first thing we do is start to rub our temples. We instinctively know that our hands have healing. And as we've talked about in other classes, these are the wings to my heart. These are the wings to my heart. These are my prayers, because it's all coming from my love, my heart center. So now take your hands, this warmth, this healing, and put it on any area of your body that feels out of whack, that feels out of alignment. And for 1 minute in our meditative state, let's pretend, let's visualize, let's imagine, whatever word works for you, that you are healing these areas, just simply by bringing your attention to it. 8 breaths. 2 more. Feel the warmth. Feel like your hands are magnets and they're pulling out pain, so that we can get beyond that pain body and remember who we really are. I'm not in pain. I feel pain, but I am not that. All right, beautiful. All right, may this practice be of benefit to you, okay? All right, let's take ourselves down. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus on lower back and hips so we can see if we can ease some of that pain. As I said, if you have a foam roller, we're going to use the foam roller. If you don't have a foam roller, you can use whatever you have. My foam roller's in another room, so I'm going to use my other yoga mat. You could use a block. You could use a bolster, whatever you want to do. And all we're going to do right now is we're going to take our side over the bolster. So we're taking our left side down, putting it right at the top of our waist, right where our belt would be. Again, maybe you're using a block here with a blanket on it, so it's a little bit more cushy. And go ahead and bring your hand down like this. And let's just see if we can relax. Okay, some of you might even be able to work a little bit deeper and extend those legs out straight and even that arm out straight. And all we're focusing on right now is relaxing. Inhale, big breath. So we're on our waist, right? We're not on the hip, we're on the waist. Maybe it would feel nice for you to reach out. So we could say we're on our side, but we're still in our mountain pose. 5 breaths. We're trying to find a space that goes outside of the pain or outside of the tension, the gripping, the stress. 2 more breaths. Notice if the bolster or whatever it is you're using feels really super intense in this area. Go and breathe there. Breathe deeply there. Remember this physical body, the Annamaya Kosha, it's just the food body. It's just a bag of bones. We're not the body. We're so much more, right? Okay, some of you, we're going to do a little creepy. Whoa, getting on that hip a little bit more. Maybe you'll stay up. Maybe you'll go forward and back and forward and back. Now, just stay here. So as I was saying on my walk with my dog this morning, I had these 2 levels. I had this, oh my gosh, it's so wet. Oh my gosh, it's so soaking wet and damp and hard to walk. La, 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 la. And then the other part of me was like, this is amazing. Nature's so cool. La, la. It's the same thing here. Like, ouch, this hurts. Ouch, it's tight. Oh my God, what's happening? Oh, my skeleton's out of alignment. Let me just breathe. Let me find that acceptance, that freedom. Maybe you'll go a little bit more. See how this feels. Some of you might be playing. Some of you might be rolling. What I want you to do more than anything else, though, is see if you can get out of this being all this is. So there's much more than just this one issue that you're facing, your breath. You can start to lean into that breath body. You can lean into that Manomaya Kosha. Keep repeating that mantra that you want today. 3 more deep breaths. 2. Okay, now here comes a little bit of a trick here. You decide if this is right for you. Move carefully. We're going to roll over onto our back, and we're going to put the bolster or the foam roller or whatever it is at the very base. So we're trying to find a little bit of a sagginess through the pelvis. The front rim of the pelvis is relaxing. Okay, so we're in a bridge. But instead of having it nice and snuggled to the top, we're going to work it down more towards the sits bones area so that our top of the pelvis can relax. Okay, hold on to it. Walk your feet right underneath your knees. We're not going to do it unless it's close by, which mine isn't. So I'm going to imagine you're squeezing a block between those knees. And here we go. Big inhale. Stay where you are. Exhale. Big inhale. Stay where you are. Exhale. Now, instead of gripping our glutes, instead of gripping the muscles of the bottom, I want you to imagine where you sit, those sits bones. I want you to imagine the muscles there are lifting. So that Mula Bandha is activating. So we're not clenching the muscles up around the upper glutes. We're really trying to relax those areas as we squeeze the sits bones. Some of you will go up to bridge pose. Big inhale. The front rim of the pubic bone is dropping to the floor, so it's taking us a little bit out of that bridge. Those of you who want to work deeper, you might even take one leg to the sky today. 2 more deep breaths. And slowly, slowly, slowly come back down. Relax. Here we go. Big inhale. Stay where you are. Exhale. Squeeze around those sits bones. Inhale, lift up. Some of you will take the other leg up if you're working deeper. And exhale, come on down. We'll do this again. Inhale, relax. Exhale, squeeze around the sits bones. Go on up, stay up. Big inhale. Leg up if you're working that way. Exhale, down, 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 down. Let all the muscles around your bottom relax. Inhale. Lift the pelvic floor. Imagine your sits bones are turning towards each other. Lift up again. Squeeze that imaginary block between your knees. Inhale. And exhale, coming down, 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 down. Let the bottom spill out all the muscles. 2 more times. Here we go. Inhale. Lift up. Inhale deeply. Top of the rim is dropping to the floor. Tailbone reaching to the knees. Exhale down. Last one. Big inhale. And exhale, squeezing the base of the spine here, squeezing the pubic bone and the navel together. Pubic bone and the tailbone together. And exhale, 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 release. Now slide this, whatever you're using underneath your sacrum, and bring your knees to chest. Just relax. I am not pain. I feel pain. Now from here, take your knees and your feet hip distance apart. Take your hands to the outside. Don't worry, we're going to do the other foam roller on the other side in a minute. Don't you worry about that, okay? Take your hands on the outside of the knees and press into the hands. Press into the hands. So we're not able to move because we're really finding a conversation between the hands and the knees. And then take the hands on the inside of the knees and squeeze there. So as I said, there's 2 awarenesses here. There's the skeleton and then there's the musculature system, right? So we're doing both. Let's go back to the outside, push into those hands, maybe even turning on those toes. And as you're working so dynamically, see if you can continue to drop those hips. Keep that action, keep feeling that, but take your hands to the inside and squeeze there. Relax, relax as you're working. Relax. 2 and 1. Good. Bring your feet to the floor, pick your hips up, and remove that, whatever you're using, out of your way. We're going to windshield wiper our knees side to side. And if this doesn't feel good to you, then maybe you'll go back to bringing those knees to chest. All right, when you're ready, let's roll over to our left side. And you guessed it, the flipperooby. Love that flipperooby. All right. First, right underneath that area between the ribs and the top of the pelvis. Again, you might stay up because this might feel intense. You might go down like this, might still feel really intense. Or maybe you'll go down like this and you'll find your Tadasana, maybe even grabbing your hands together. All right, 8 breaths, breathe. Breathe into the tightness. So like I was saying at the beginning, imagine that this is happening, like the record is playing, but you're not in the storyline. You're just watching yourself in the pose. You're watching yourself melt like butter. Keep cascading over your prop. And if you're not getting anything, stack it up a little higher. Turn that block up or put another pillow on there. This is lovely to do. I sometimes do this hanging over my bed, like my upper torso will be hanging off the bed. If you need to have someone hold your feet, be sure you do that. All right, come on up. Now we're going to slide down. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And make some sort of little rolls here. Just work that tight leather glove, right? In this physical body. Down on my kosha, we've got this fascia, this very tight leather glove, and it just grips. So we're bringing some blood there, and we're encouraging it to just let go. It's like a fist. Like a fist. No need to hold so tight. 6 more breaths. What do you need? Do you need to surrender? Do you need to let go of the need to control or the need for a guarantee? When I'm in pain, it always helps to remember for me that my body is a roadmap. My body is a roadmap. It's the story of my life. And when I want to turn the page, I have to release. So see if you can find some sense of release. 2 more deep breaths. Again, maybe you're working really deep today. I'm hoping you've had a big release at least once so far. If you haven't, see if you could breathe really deep. Breathe and exhale longer than you can imagine. Just let it all go. All right, come on down. And we're going to roll over. Again, putting it right at the base of our spine, so not under the sacrum like we typically do. And this time, we're going to take our left leg up, okay? You can keep it bent, and we're going to open and close. And open, touch your foot, and close. Touch your foot, and close. So you're hinging from the hip, and close. 2 more. Open and close. Now we're going to put it on that other leg. Take your hands to the heels of the hands. Some of you, make sure you're steady, will be able to bring both legs up. You could wrap your hands around that thigh if that serves you. Those of you working deeper could even grab those toes and breathe. Whatever works. How do we get out of this pain? remembering it's not who we are, and breathe. How's that? One more big old breath. And gently come on out. Hug your belly lock in. Bring your foot down. Bring your other foot down. And pause. And we'll switch a Ruby. Take your right leg up and open and close. You can keep that knee bent. Touch your foot and open. Just hinging from the hip. And so when we feel a big sharp pain, what happens? It's so tight. And then the whole body reacts. So we're trying to step out of it and just watch it. And maybe you're not in pain. Maybe it's just tension or tightness. Okay, come back here. Bring both legs up if that works for you. Keep it down if that works for you. And we're going to take it up. Interlace behind the other leg, or working deeper, maybe you could grab your footsies. Remember to keep our knee safe. We have to put our toes towards the knee. Where are you gripping? What about your tongue? What about your neck? What about the muscles around the scapula, the shoulder blades? Can you melt a little bit more? Find peace, find comfort here. If you feel a lot of resistance in your body, see if some breath will help you release a little bit more. Again, where are the fists? Where are you just holding on for all might? Can you soften? Two. And one. Beautiful. Hug your belly in, one foot down, the other foot down, pressing both feet down, and let's get this, whatever we're using, out of our way. And roll it over. All right, finding hands and knees. Hands and knees. So some of you are ready for downward dog. Make your way up there now. Some of you are going to just play here through cat and cow. 5 breaths. You can feel free to bend the knees and just see if you can take your pelvis like a bowl full of water and dump your spine out like water. Just pour it out. 3 and 2. All right, beautiful. Let's walk forward here in a standing forward fold. Double check that your feet are hip distance apart. The outer heels are dropping. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Come halfway up, really traction action. Exhale, forward fold. Grab a block and inhale, come all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. Okay, and we're going to do some stability here. Some of us will go a little bit further. Take your block between your knees. So we have a rhythm here in our sacrum, in our lumbar spine, and it naturally sort of tilts in a way that's not always the best. Not the best, but it's tricky. It's tricky because there's a natural back bend here, but sometimes we overdo it. So I want to keep the block between our knees, and I want us to pretend there's a chair back there. So you can see how you slide down and what happens to my spine, and then we come back up. Let's do that a couple more times. So you're sitting down, you can feel what's happening there, and then exhale, come on back up. 4 more. If you need to put your healing hands on those hips, just encourage a little bit of supple quality. Feel free to do that. 3 and 2 and 1. So in our natural curve, the lumbar spine has a turn, right? It has a natural turn in our bodies, but then our sacrum has a turn that goes the other way. So there's an area there that's a little bit funky. I think that's the anatomical word is funky. So that's the area I'm thinking about right now, is that little hinge right at the top of that sacrum. When we're ready here, we're going to go ahead and drop down into Utkatasana. Those of you who would like to, squeeze that block, even taking your hands to the outside of the knees, squeeze the hands and the blocks. And that's what you're going to do for 8 breaths. Those of you working deeper, we're going to slide over to the right side and we're going to take one leg up. Tick, tock, tick, tock. 3, 2, and Ardha Utkatasana. Go ahead and put that foot down there on that ankle, on that knee, maybe even a forward fold. Otherwise, just hold here. So you're either squeezing the block or you're feeling this lift. 3 and 2. Now keep it low for everybody. Keep it low. Come on out. Pretend your block is still there for some of you. And up we go. And pause. Okay. Second side. Same thing, going back to that Utkatasana, feeling that little hinge action, little bit of a hinge action, just bring some integrity to that area. And we're going to slide over to the left. Some of you are going to hang here. Some of you are doing the Utkatasana, one leg, and you're going to tick, tock, tick, tock. And if you want to be really cool, you could do the tick tock noise like, I have a special talent. I can make really loud TikTok noises. I won't do it because there's a mic, but ask me if we see each other in person. It's really pretty loud. All right, here we go. Switcheroo. Utkatasana, chair pose, fierce. Some of you will tip it over. Some of you will stay up. Some of you are squeezing that block. Feel the stability there. Feel yourself hugging. Two. One more. And stay low and up we go. Okay? Back to the block. Here we go again. Sit down. Can you touch the floor? And up. Sit down, touch the floor, and up. And sit down, holding here. Get those knees right over the ankles and squeeze. Bring your attention to the area where that spine and that pelvis are meeting, feeling what's happening in that area. Some of us can take the hands, heels of the hands, and just pull ourselves out. Drop that tailbone, lifting out, getting as much length through that lumbar spine as we can. If we do a lot of sitting, this all gets really compressed. You feel that heat? Do you feel that challenge? Dig in there. Don't quit. Get some heat. Big breaths. 4 more really big breaths. Two. Last one. And up we go, up we go, up we go. Sweep your arms up and exhale, come down. So for some of you who are feeling really buoyant today, I want you to take your blocks and maybe you'll even go through a vinyasa here and meet us in downward dog. That's for those of you feeling a little bit more dynamic. Those of you feeling a little less dynamic. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up, nice flat back, and exhale, forward fold. So some of you are in down dog and some of you are in forward fold. Two more deep breaths. All right, strong, powerful. Everybody now reach up, come all the way back to mountain pose, and exhale, reset. You've got your blocks there, okay? So those of you who are working deeper, we're going to go back to the Utkatasana. You're going to come and bring your foot in here. Now watch, if you can get it into this hip hinge, then you can point the toe, but you want to be really careful you're not hurting the knee. I always like to keep my toes fired up. Some of you can do a bind around if you're feeling open for that, and then a forward fold, or you could take this half chair and just come into a forward fold here. This heel is digging into the gut, so it's a really nice thing for the digestion too, to use that heel to sort of massage that belly. Feel free to play with that. For those of you feeling a little bit more dynamic today, staying for 8 to 12 breaths. For the rest of you, we're going to take our left leg forward and our right leg back. Bend your actually no, come back into standing here for those of you who've taken a little bit easier. And let's sweep ourselves all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. And we'll take just some openings. Left leg open, squaring our pelvis, and we'll drive that knee and straighten, and we'll drive that knee and straighten. So what we're focusing on is keeping the hip balanced, but then the knee open. So some of you will just hang here. Left knee over the left ankle, inner thigh is moving away, and the hips are level. Notice I'm not doing this. 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Close that hip. Those of you who are working a little deeper, start to make yourself up to standing again, and you're going to start over. Those of you taking it a little bit easier, second side, warrior 2 legs. Double check that you're keeping the hips balanced as you're keeping that knee open, or you're in the earlier level where you're taking that foot up, right? Strong, powerful stance here, and forward folding. So you decide. You have the blocks if you need them. You're releasing that knee to the floor, or you're practicing turning away, opening that hip. 3 more deep breaths. And 2. And everybody now making your way out of that. We're all going to slowly, however you can get there, find your way to downward dog. Beautiful. All right, come on back down. What we're going to do now is we're going to just turn on our bellies, our locks, okay? So taking either a bolster, if you're working really strongly today, a bolster would be a really nice thing, or you can use a block. We're going to come down onto our back again. with the bolster between our knees or the block. Okay, and you're going to squeeze the legs together and push the hip down. Let's go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Squeeze and push your hips down. 3, 2, pause. Second round out of 3. Squeeze that bolster or whatever. Keep the line of the legs moving this way and then push the hips down. Push that lower back down. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. Push. 6, 5. Line up those bones. 4, 3, 2. Relax. Okay, so we're trying to push our sacrum to the ground and we're squeezing the blocks. This is our last round. Okay, here we go. Fire it up and squeeze. 10, 9, push the sacrum down. 8, 7, tighter. 4, squeeze it. 3, 3, 3, squeeze. 2, squeeze it, push it down, and 1. Release. Beautiful. And just windshield wiper your knee side to side. Okay, now abdominals. So you got to be careful here. Those of you who want a little bit more of a challenge, I like to put the block a little higher now. Actually, a little lower. Put it low on the belly here. Low on the near the tailbone, near the coccyx. So we're still having that saggy action. This is more dynamic. So for most of you, you'll skip that. And all we're going to do is we're going to lift the left leg up. We're going to open it. We're going to straighten it. We're going to bend it, and we're going to close it. Okay? Very dynamic, not only on the belly, but also on the hip. So if you're really in pain and maybe all you can do is open and close and open and close, that's enough. I'm talking to these muscles here. Really feel yourself stabilizing. Okay, we're going to do a total of 5 on either side. Who's ready? Okay, here we go. Left leg up. You could take your right leg out if you're working a little bit deeper. External rotation. Straighten it out. Bring it back and close it. And open and straighten and close. Keep the belly in. We have to be moving from the core. And if this is too intense, as I said, you're just going to have the knee open and close. I actually think we'll go 5 more. So we'll do 10 on either side. Remember that funky area that I was talking about where the lumbar spine and the sacrum meet? That area right now is got some stability because I'm squeezing my abdominal muscles, holding myself very firm. So I'm not wobbling. 3, 2, and 1. Bring both knees to bend, feet on the floor. Slide this block up and give yourself all the cushion you need and just pause. That's really intense. So see how that was received by you. Okay, second side, 10 times, finding a level. Again, if this is really intense, then maybe you're just going to do a little bit of a windshield wiper. Working deeper, extend that left leg out. Okay, external rotation, open the knee, Straighten it out, really gripping through these lower muscles, and then taking it back and close. 9 more. I actually am holding my block, and that really does feel a little bit more helpful. I am not pain. I feel pain. So keep remembering that. 3 more. And that's it. Go ahead and bend both knees and slide the block underneath the spot where you feel really held, maybe even walking the feet wide. And if it feels okay to lean the knees towards each other, do that. And we'll just hold. Turn on your scientist brain, turn on that witness part of your mind, and just study yourself. Remembering your breath, remembering the bliss, the peace, the mantra that you said. Just explore that physical body with breath. Where is tension creeping up? See if you can release it. And now stay here and enjoy, or if you wanted to go up to a bridge, go on up to a full bridge. You could even take the block between your knees and work it dynamically. Imagine that the knees are moving away from you, but the heels are coming back. Notice where you're clenching in the glutes. See if you can lift the mula bandha, the pelvic floor, more than just gripping through the glutes. It's almost like you're stabilizing from the inside before we stabilize the outside. 3 breaths. And beautiful. Come down, 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 down. All right, last thing, depending upon what you need. If you want to take it easy, maybe you'll just open both knees and you'll take blocks underneath and just let yourself relax here in Supta Baddha Konasana. Those of you working a little bit deeper, we're going to straighten the right leg and cross it over so it's in a diagonal line. And we're going to bring our left knee over and stand it up. So pretty challenging here. So we would say this is like a Gomukhasana. If it was switched, it's like this. The foot is on the ground. I'm actually holding it with my right hand, and I'm going to try to release this big opening here. So taking about 8 breaths there. The secret sauce is the breath. 3 more deep breaths. So nice. Slide this knee up and just make any adjustments, maybe even bringing your knees up and pause. All right, let's switcheroo. Last thing now, we'll take our left leg out, cross it over, bring our right knee up, cross it over, and challenge ourselves to drop that knee open. 8 breaths. Deep breaths. Where are you holding back? Where are you fisting? See if you can soften. Let yourself feel like butter in a skillet melting out. Two. And again, sliding that bottom leg in with the little knee pile, if that's what you're doing, and bringing our legs in. If you're in the Supta Baddha Konasana, bring your knees together and come into seed pose where you're just hugging those knees in. And move in any way that you want to. Take your time. Moving another 3 or 4 breaths as you start to find your way to the final posture today. How can you spend the rest of your day? Lots of water, wear some warm, cozy clothes, take time to rest. Just really nurture yourself today. And even if you need to be productive, even if you're gearing up for a big work day, make some time today, especially if you're the one that's in pain, that you're working on it from body, mind, and spirit. That you're really sitting with yourself in these times. Okay? All right, make your way to Shavasana and move into Shavasana however you want to. Maybe you're propping your knees up on some pillows. Maybe you're going to take it on your side or even on your belly. Any Shavasana posture that you want to do. And again, just like we started, each time we inhale, see if you can send that loving energy into those spaces that still need your attention. And on the exhale, see if you can let go of the fist. You can just soften like butter. Inhale, send that loving, nurturing breath, that air into the spots that need it, combing through those muscles, and exhale, release. Moving into stillness. As we close up our class today, I encourage you to use the mantra Satnam, I am. Inhale Sat, Exhale, nam. Just anchoring your mind into the moment. Inhale, I. Exhale, M. Just again and again and again. And as always, may this be a benefit to you. I'll see some of you on Friday for our New Year's Day class at 11. Bring your journals. And as always, may this be a benefit to you. Deep bows to you all. Namaste.